I've just got the shot. I've got it already. Usually when I'm playing around with shutter speeds like this, I've got to grab a shot there just in case whilst that wave's it's kicking off here, guys. Welcome back to the channel. We're still in wonderful Scotland and we are at Alkmavic beach. It sounds like I'm speaking German, doesn't it? Absolutely stunning. Some of these like quintessential West Coast and Hebridean turquoise waters, golden white sands. Absolutely amazing. Now, it's quite dramatic and moody again, but if honestly, I really mean this when I say this, I'm not bitter. This is exactly what I want, right? Because to me, this is what Scotland's all about. You know, if it was sunny, yes, the turquoise colour in the sea would be more saturated. The sands here would be a lot more golden and white, really. But that would be like the Caribbean. Whereas here we get the contrast of the colours between the sea and the sand and those beautiful moody skies. At the minute, look at this, there's a little bit of a glow off on the horizon. And it's, honestly, it's all about contrast. Contrast of the colours, that strip of light on the horizon, then bang! Just these incredible dark moody skies. Wow! So 6-stop Nissi neutral density filter on the front. That's the big boy, that's the main one because I need to prioritise my shutter speed here. Aperture is at what? F8, I don't even care, I've focused down here in the foreground where the waves are sort of lapping up against the shore. Shutter speed is well important. 1 second is doing it for me. And I'm trying to get that, you know, that sort of painterly look as the waves recede back outwards and we get these small little white lines, or sometimes it just looks like a painting, you know, in the foreground. If I could paint and I could paint this scene, that's exactly what I'd want, you know, capturing a little bit of movement of the waves. The last thing that I want to do here is freeze that movement. And it's really, really important for me to say here, that's just my opinion. You know, this is the beauty of photography. It's an art at the end of the day. One of you might look at this and think, oh, I wish you'd have gone for a quicker shutter speed and you know, froze the movement of the waves. But I tell you what, it really does not get much better than this without being up a mountain. I don't suit this sort of landscape at the minute. So what I'm trying to do is, to be honest, keep it as simple as possible. I've got 3/3, believe it or not. Bottom third is like the sand as it merges into the water. Middle third is that beautiful bluey turquoise green water, aqua, gorgeous. And then, of course, the top final third is the sky and that mood and drama, which is giving us that contrast. I'm at 16mm. On the 16 to 35, it looks fantastic. It's like this gold colour that merges into the aqua. Yeah, it's 16mm. And that's it, ISO 100 f8, 1 second, like I said, is working for me. In fact, I'm at ISO 200, I tell a lie. I had to bump it up slightly to get that shutter speed. But that's that, it is one of them where simplicity is key. The rain's here. It hasn't rained yet since I've been here, and it was due to happen. Shout out the new garm, guys. Well, garms, plural. I've got the pants as well. You remember when I was up Tarn Crag and I asked for some advice for some lightweight waterproofs? I finally invested in some. Thank you all so much for all the suggestions. There was a lot to sift through, but it was good because I like to do a bit of research. I've gone for the Montaigne. This was actually no one suggested these. But anyway, less of that. Sorted now. These are in the bottom of the bag. Whenever this happens, which is, you know, almost every time I'm out, get these badges on. Right. So I'm going for something pretty similar, to be honest, from the first shot. But as you can see, a little bit wider, and we've got this kind of sweep across the bay here. The sweep as the water comes in, the waves crash or lap up against the sand. And again, around about 1 second is perfect here, just to capture the right amount of movement, you know. But I think I prefer this. I feel like the first photograph was a little bit abstracty. You know, there wasn't much in the frame, whereas here I'm at 16mm landscape orientation. And we've just got a lot of nice little hills in the background. The sky again, look at that. Absolutely class. So yeah, 1 second, f8 and ISO 160. What was I going to say? I've also got my polarizer on here as well, which is bringing out the saturation a little bit more of the turquoise, the aqua colour in the water, you know. And again, yeah, it's just a case of grabbing a shot. There we go. See, the waves are right in here now, right at my feet. And then as it recedes back out, oh yeah, that looks fantastic. Absolutely stunning. So that's that. Pretty simple. So now what I'm going to do is come away from the beach, clamber up some of these cliffs so that I get a little bit more of a bird's eye view of this bay and just get another wider photograph. But I suppose just a different perspective, you know. I think it'll be nicer to concentrate a little bit more on the sands. The further we come away as well, the less of these footprints we get. It's a bit ruined, to be honest. It's a bit of a popular spot, which is nice. You know, we like to see people coming out and about, but it's not great for the photography. So we've started gaining a little bit of height now, and it is beautiful, let me tell you. Do you know what's class? When you've got a little bit more of a bird's eye view or a higher vantage point and you're looking down on the water, it's a lot more transparent and a lot more colourful as well. I noticed it when I was flying my drone around earlier, but this is a really, really beautiful perspective of the whole bay, you know, and this really is going to be quite different to the other photographs. To be fair, it's one of them, really. Look at that behind me now. I don't need to mess about too much with composition, you know. It's doing everything for me. All I've got to do, right, the main thing I've got to do, let me show you this. There's a load of caravans. I think there's a campsite here, fences, mess, man-made mess. So all my job is really, as far as I'm concerned, just to make sure that I eradicate any of those from the photograph and make sure I try and keep it natural. You know, just capture this bay in all of its natural glory, you know. But oh, it looks so colourful from up here. Absolutely beautiful. We've got a smaller little bay just down there. I did grab a shot on the Olympus, but that is class as well. So all I'm going to do is just scour around here a little bit. I ain't going to bother with foreground or anything. Just try and get the best perspective of this bay. Oh, I wanted to say as well, I've used the Photograph in Scotland book for this whole trip by PhotoView. If you haven't heard of these books and you're going on a photography trip, especially in the UK, check them out. They're absolutely class. I'll put the link to the Scotland one in the video description below. I've had it with me for the whole 2 or 3 days, the duration of this trip in the car. It's been my photography Bible. And I also want to say as well, I'm not affiliated with them at all. I'm just a really big fan, you know. So go and check them out. The Photograph in Scotland one has been so helpful on this trip. So yeah, a little bit of a scour, see what we can compose, but yeah, gonna keep it nice and simple. So yeah, keeping it nice and simple. What am I in at here? 16 to 35, 24 mil, so I'm zoomed in a little bit just to make sure I don't get this fence down in the foreground. I don't know if you can tell from behind me, probably not because you've got no perspective, but it's brightening up, which is mental. It is so good because, look at this, behind the bay, we've still got moody skies. But look what it's doing. Just that extra little pop of light from behind me is obviously spraying down. It's not direct light, sorry. It's like this second-hand light or, you know, filtered, diffuse light coming through the clouds. It's just all of the turquoisey aqua colours in the water are popping. The white golden sands are popping in the bay. It's definitely helping. I tell you what, it's a real nice surprise, to be honest. In fact, what I'll probably do is stick around just in case we do get direct light, because that's looking like quite a big gap up there in the clouds. So I'm doing a long exposure again. I can't help it. 5 seconds, f8 ISO 100. Once again, I've put the polarizer on, Nissi polarizer, and the Nissi 6-stop neutral density filter. And oh yes, that tiny little bit of light has made all the difference. So yeah, I've made sure there's no sort of man-made objects in the frame. We had some girls swimming down in the water before, which is definitely my type of thing, just not now. Not now, I can't go in there with all my camera gear. We've got a cottage actually on the other side. Is that it there? Which I actually really like. It gives the image a little bit of scale. It gives the whole bay a little bit of scale, you know, because we're shooting quite wide here at 24 mil. Ooh, let me darken that down a bit. Look at this. Look at that in the background. Nice big gap in the sky. So, thank you all so much for tuning in. This is the end of my wonderful little Scotland micro adventure. It's been class. I've got a nice 2-hour drive now back to Inverness. And then what, 7 or 8 hours back home? Come on, living the dream. But no, it's been worth every second. And thanks for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you like this last photograph. And cheers for tuning in. I'll see you on the next adventure. Out.